career appreciation moment. You know what? You know who the Denzel Washington of NFL head coaches is?
Ooh.
That's pretty good, right?
He looks like him. That's a good transition. But since he looks like him, I'm going to say the Omar Epps of NFL head coaches is Mike Tomlin. You know, so the Steelers win last night over the Giants. No surprise, right? You expected them to win. But look at some of these numbers for Mike Tomlin. All right, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win. Conference championship 3 times. 6 division titles. I like the regular season record. One thing I didn't see there, Mike Tomlin, Mike Smith, has never had a losing season.
I knew you were going there. Yep, never.
So last year, and this is where I said, all right, Mike Tomlin, he needs to get his respect. And I think he's respected because people do say, oh, yeah, he's one of the top coaches in the league, but they don't put him up. He should be higher. He should be even higher. He should be a top 3 coach.
Where is he?
He should be top 3.
And
because
who does not have him in the top 3? Who does not? And by the way, that's a tough club to crack. Because
why? Tell me, no, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it is a tough nut to crack.
We know who number 1 is. We know who number 1 is, right?
Belichick is up there.
All right, so
Andy Reid's in the conversation. He definitely got in there after the Super Bowl last year.
Just right, no, right,
but I got you in the conversation. I'm not. Okay. This is not a definitive rank. We know 1, 2, and 3 are for discussion. Nobody should be over Tomlin for 3. Name somebody that should not be over Tomlin for 3. Name them. Okay, but there's a conversation that goes. I agree with you, but there's a conversation that goes beyond Tomlin. I think in the conversation about these great coaches, I think you include Sean Payton in there. I think you include John Harbaugh in there. There are guys that are, at that round table that's so you understand what I'm saying? Okay. It's not a slam dunk, but I'm with you that Tomlin is underappreciated. But I have a theory though, Michael. I have a theory that you have been in Boston so long that Boston has and the fan base in Boston in particular, because they've had Belichick, have also taken it as an opportunity to disparage Mike Tomlin's career because they often.
I think that's a fair point, and I always say this to people when I'm talking about coaches. I say, how do you know somebody is number 1? Now, we didn't even argue over number 1. Why? Because Bill Belichick has 6 Super Bowl titles, because the Patriots have won 17 of the last 19 AFC East division titles, because of his career winning percentage. So really, we got hard data. And I'll roll with the data. So if you can find out who number 1 is based on the data, that's why I say Mike Tomlin is a clear number 2. The data speaks for itself. Never had a losing season, as I said. Sean Payton somehow has had 3 7-9 seasons in New Orleans. How's that possible? With Drew Brees. Anyway, John Harbaugh, you mentioned, in the same division as Mike Tomlin. He has had losing seasons in that division. He doesn't have as many division titles as Tomlin. So I can't put Harbaugh over Tomlin in the same division, and Harbaugh doesn't come out on top of him. Harbaugh doesn't have a winning record against Mike Tomlin. So
all facts.
Active coaches, second best winning percentage all time among active coaches. Number 1 is Bill Belichick. Number 2 is Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
So I think
and the sharpest
I think
hairline.
This is a guy.
And the sharpest hairline.
oh yeah, it's tight. I don't know who's cutting him. And what's up with the pandemic though? Is he getting the pandemic? Is he doing it himself or?
Another person, again, I just for the record, so everybody's clear, I agree with you. Like I say like that, I agree with you. Got to clap it. But I'm just showing love to some other people.
You got to say, I agree.
Pete Carroll's in the mix, I think. When you like in terms of like active coaches, Pete Carroll's probably. I just want to make sure I show love to show respect. Pete Carroll, he's in there in terms of like
Pete Carroll,
the best guys in the league. Yeah, but no, I'm with you. Tomlin, and I think a lot of it, honestly, if we were, so why? Why is Mike Tomlin in some circles? Let's call it some circles. Why is Mike Tomlin in some circles not given his just due? In Pittsburgh, I think there are some people who probably take him for granted because of the standard that they've set in Pittsburgh, or as Mike would say, the standard is a standard. Nationally, I think, and I think we both know that when it comes to black coaches, they don't get the credit in the celebration for their genius. They get the credit for being players' coaches. He's relatable. players respond to him. So Tomlin doesn't get the same way Belichick gets credit for his organizational brilliance, the structure, the hierarchy, the just the environment that he's created. Tomlin is seen as a dude that players like. And that's it. Because he's one of them. Because he used to play. He's a black dude. He's a brother. Like he gets through to him as if he got an all-black team. You know what I'm saying? He's a young guy. He gets through to him. But it's so I think that's typically with black coaches equals players coaches as opposed to savants.
Well, one, credit to the Steelers for having a structure in place, not just with Mike Tomlin, but having a structure in place that they've had 3 coaches in my lifetime. In my entire lifetime, the Steelers have had 3 coaches, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, done. So and I think this is what a lot of coaches want, but specifically black coaches have complained about. Look, if you're going to give me this job, you're going to give me this opportunity, a lot of times I'm coming in where I've got to reset the culture. I've got to reset the standards, so to speak, to use that Tomlin line. I need the time. I need the time and support to do it. You can't just bring me in year 1 and say by year 3, okay, you didn't get it done, move on. So the Steelers are a part of this story. They have given him what he's needed to be successful.
Yeah.
But the other thing for Tomlin, I think this is part of his part of his genius, is that they have the luxury of bringing in some marginal players in terms of their character grades. Some guys who other teams are maybe uncomfortable with. Mike Tomlin has brought them in, has allowed them to get their talent out, and then in some cases they turn around. Like Antonio Brown was that guy. So on one hand, give Mike Tomlin credit because Antonio Brown became the best receiver.
Was he that guy coming out of college?
Oh, sure.
I don't think he's that guy coming out of college. Was he that guy out of college?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had some problems. Yeah, issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So
sorry. Yeah.
on one hand, give him credit for allowing Antonio Brown to become the best receiver in Steelers history. On the other hand, do you go ahead and knock him because Antonio Brown became a discipline problem late in his career?
Yeah.
It's almost like they knock him for the discipline problems, but don't give him enough credit for getting the talent out.
Or how long did he manage it before he couldn't manage Antonio anymore? And then we saw what happened when Antonio left. But the other thing, too, about the patience in Pittsburgh is some organizations with those standards and that fan base might have decided, okay, this has gotten stale. Mike Tomlin Appreciation Day. That's funny, guys. That has gotten. It was. Hey, Monday Night Football otherwise nondescript other than this.
Well, is it nondescript?
Okay, but okay. Last point on this is that Pittsburgh could have been like, oh, well, 8-8's not good enough, and let's pull the plug, let's reset, let's go and try to get somebody who can get us back over the hump, and then left the fan base and organization longing for the days of Mike Tomlin. Because let's face it, to be accurate. That his body of work is unquestioned. No losing seasons. Second highest winning percentage. But there have been some seasons that have been marred by some frustrating losses. And I'm not saying it's all Mike's fault, but I'm just saying, as an organization, they have had some seasons like, how did they miss the playoff? They are the kings of losing games they shouldn't in a lot of seasons past.
That's right. And look, you have to, I'd say you have to hold them accountable for that. But when I have these conversations with people, I say, all right, let's just be consistent, hold him accountable, and hold the other guys that you hold up as better. Look at some of their flaws, too.
Absolutely. No losing seasons.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.